So I happen to be a really big fan of crossovers. I've been a big fan of crossovers ever since I was a little kid. Like, if you wanted me to narrow it down and talk about the crossovers that I've seen in my life, well, we have Jimmy Neutron coming across Timmy Turner. That's how we got the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. And then, of course, we had the Rugrats come across the Wild Thornberrys. That was pretty cool. We had that huge Avengers film where we had all these different heroes coming across each other. We had Family Guy meeting characters from American Dad. We had The Simpsons meeting Family Guy. We had Alien meeting Predator. We had Jason meeting Freddy, which is like one of the most iconic crossovers of all time. So there's a lot of different crossover TV specials or movies that's out there, and a lot of people really enjoy them, including me myself. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about a Megan versus Chucky movie potentially happening down the line, because I would absolutely love to see something like that. Do we necessarily need it? No. But just the whole idea of like two different worlds crossing over and just seeing how these characters interact with each other, it just seems like a really cool concept that you can explore. And I just think it's pretty cool because in the most recent season of Chucky, if you guys keep up with the Chucky TV series, when Chucky was going through his phase where he was really fed up with the way the fuck he was looking because he looked like an old crusty man, we saw that Chucky was watching these different shows and movies on the TV, and then he came across that iconic scene where you had like Megan dancing in the hallway. You know, the scene that you guys probably saw in the trailer when Megan was first shown off to us. That's why Megan exploded, because of the iconic dance in the movie. You guys know the scene that I'm talking about. Everybody's practically seen it at this point. But you had Chucky reacting to that scene, and he's like, this bitch, she stole my whole entire mojo. Or he didn't say mojo, but he was pretty much saying like, yeah, this bitch pretty much stole everything that I was doing. And I just like how that was added in there, because a lot of us were always wondering like, okay, how does Chucky feel about Megan? Because we know Chucky is the OG. We know Chucky is the OG doll that came out all those years ago. Like, if you want to name like an iconic serial killer doll, you obviously think of Chucky. Chucky's the one that really sticks out. Chucky's the one that had the most impact when it comes to the horror genre and slasher genre, you know, things like that. Chucky had a huge impact with that, and that's why he's such an iconic character. So if it wasn't for Chucky, then characters like Megan would never exist. So I just like how he commented on that, because it was just really interesting to see like, okay, this is how Chucky feels about Megan. And then you also have to look at like the Twitter beef that Chucky and Megan had in the past. I believe this was around the time where they were promoting the Megan movie, and it was really funny just to see Megan and Chucky go back and forth. And it just makes me think in my head, like, is Don Mancini or the people at Blumhouse, like, do they have this sort of idea in their head where they want to make like a Megan versus Chucky movie? Because I think it would be pretty cool. Do we necessarily need the movie? No, but just the whole entire idea behind, okay, this could potentially be a thing, is actually really interesting to talk about. That's why I wanted to make this video, just talking about like the possibility of it potentially being a thing, because I can only imagine where you had like Chucky and Megan just having a conversation with one another. Like, let's say for example, they meet at like the end of the hallway. You got Chucky here and you got Megan on the opposite side of the hallway, and then you got Chucky saying a whole bunch of shit, just like Chucky does. Chucky's a shit talker, that's why we love Chucky. And then we got Megan saying a whole bunch of shit as well, and obviously she's more intelligent than Chucky because she's a robot, so the way that she was programmed, she was meant to be very smart. And we just see Chucky saying the same shit like he said in the TV show. Hey, there's already me. We don't really need another killer doll going on loose, causing like all this different kinds of shit. Like, I'm the guy here. I'm the OG. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, I can definitely see Chucky saying a whole bunch of shit to Megan, and then Megan would probably say some snotty comment where she's like, oh, hey, I'm the upgrade. Like, people don't really care about you anymore. People care about me because I'm the upgrade. I'm a lot better than you. I'm able to do a lot more than what you could do. And then obviously they're going to bicker back and forth. They're going to get into some sort of fight. And it would just be really interesting to see. It would just be interesting to see like how these two characters have interacted with one another. That's why I like the whole idea of crossovers. It's like you never know what to expect when you have these two characters interact with each other for the first time. But like, if I had to give an example from another crossover that I've seen, I'm going to eventually give my thoughts on Jimmy Timmy Power Hour on this channel, but I'm going to pull an example for that. So when it comes to Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, did you ever really expect Timmy Turner, out of all people, to have like all of this mojo when he came into Jimmy's world and Cindy was all over his ass. Like, did you honestly expect anything like that from Timmy? Like, this girl's like all over him. Because if you look back in Timmy's world, Timmy has the worst luck of girls. He always tries every single time to get with Trixie Tang, but she doesn't really seem to pay attention to him at all. And that's why you have like other girls like Vicky's sister Tootie always over him all the time. So it's just really weird to look at it where you're like, okay, Timmy seems like a changed person in this whole entire universe. So you look at how Megan and Chucky would interact with one another, it would just be pretty interesting to see like, okay, how do the people around Chucky feel about Megan? Like, would they want to befriend Megan? Would they look at Megan as another threat? Because if you add Andy into the equation and you add Jake and Lexi and the rest of them there into the whole entire equation, how would they feel about Megan? Would they be like, oh my God, we are already dealing with Chucky, but now we have another killer doll to deal with? Like, it would just be pretty interesting to explore exactly like how things would work around that sort of thing if they ever got involved with each other in whatever movie it is. I just think it'd be cool. I just think it would be a nice film overall, like if you wanted to give something to the fans to sink their teeth into, because Chucky's never really had a crossover before, and a lot of people wanted to see crossovers like Chucky and the Leprechaun and Chucky with that doll from Goosebumps, and then also the I forgot the name of the girl that was in like that old doll movie that came out in like the 80s or 90s. I can't remember when it came out, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm referring to. It was that like that little girl killer doll that used to go around and kill people and shit. Like, people just always wanted to see Dolly Dearest. That was the movie I was thinking about, but people always wanted to see Chucky interact with some other killer. I know people were trying to say, oh, why don't we do Chucky versus Michael Myers? How come that isn't a thing? Well, I don't know how that would be a really fair fight. Not saying that Chucky and Megan's a really fair fight, because I feel like Megan would have the edge in that, but that's a debate for a different story. I don't really want to talk about that. Just want to talk about the whole concept of a movie itself. But I just feel like you gotta have a movie where it's like they both mix well with one another. They have that proper chemistry and stuff, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I personally wouldn't be against something like this happening. As I said, it would be really cool. And I don't expect it to happen for a while, because if it were to be a thing, I would assume they would want to get Megan 2 out of the way, because that's obviously in production. And also, we had a confirmation from Don Mancini that Chucky's going to be getting another movie soon. So more than likely, that could potentially be building off from what we saw in season 3 towards the end, or something completely different. And then we also have that speculation of season 4 of Chucky being a thing, so I can't really see Megan get involved in that. But I just thought it was pretty interesting that Chucky noticed Megan in that movie, where he acknowledged that, oh yeah, there's another killer doll out here. She's stealing my thunder. She thinks she's the shit and all that. I just found that very interesting. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Like, would you guys be against this ever becoming a thing? Like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to happen. It's just the whole thought of it potentially being a thing, because I always think that crossovers are always a really cool thing to do. Like, even if the movie ends up being like this big abomination, because 9 times out of 10, films like this, depending on what they are, aren't always the best. But if you wanted to just look at it as a fun movie just to watch, just for shit and giggles and stuff, just to enjoy 2 series that you really like coming together in one film, then you could look at it that way and enjoy it. So how would you guys personally feel about it? What would the plot be? Like, if you guys had the pen and paper and you were able to write a script for a movie like this, how would you write that? Who would you cast? Just let me know all your thoughts overall with this in the comment section down below. But other than that, if you guys enjoy the video that you guys came across today, be sure to give me a like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. And also, if you guys want to follow your boy on social media and see what I'm doing outside of the YouTube space, make sure to check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It is located in the description below. As always, make sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I upload a video on the channel, because I realize the YouTube system's funny. Like I always say, you never really know what YouTube's going to do nowadays, so make sure to click on that bell so you guys are notified, so you're not missing an upload on this channel whenever I publish a video. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.